Paul Skenes can reasonably be called the best pitcher in the world in year 2 at the age of 23. So what's going to be interesting is to see what Pittsburgh does from here, because they have him under contract through 2029, and they're going to have to go through arbitration, and it's already clear in most people's minds he's going to set the records for arbitration numbers. What that means is in baseball, before you reach unrestricted free agency, you go through what they call arbitration. You put an arbitrator in front of you, and the team says, we think we should pay this guy this. And the player says, we think we should get paid this because of A, B, and C. And you basically argue, and there's like an arbitrator, and they say, well, okay, here's what we think. It should be $8 million. Like, so the player says, I think I deserve $11 million next year. And the team says, well, we think you only deserve $7 million. And then you argue it out, and the arbitrator says, we think it's $8 million. You're going to make $8 million next year. We're done here. His are going to be like 25, 30. They will set records. So there's no urgency to get this done. But reportedly, the Pirates are ready to start contract negotiations with him. They can sign him to an extension after this season, and they would like to get a long-term deal done. The question becomes, what does that long-term deal even look like? And can you convince somebody this talented to commit long-term to a franchise where you've shown no interest whatsoever in actually spending money around him to create a winning baseball team? The Pirates' payroll this season is $83.8 million. The entire payroll. Shohei makes $70 by himself with the Dodgers. The Pirates' entire payroll is $83.8. It ranks 27th out of 30 franchises in Major League Baseball. For some context here, the Dodgers are first, $340 million. The Mets are second, $339 million. The Pirates are 27th at $84 million. I mean, the Mets and Dodgers are outspending them basically by like 5 times. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of a chicken egg argument here. The owner of the Pirates, a guy named Bob Nutting, and what I'm confident he would tell you is that I can't spend $300 million, $250 million, even $200 million on a payroll because I can't make it back. And what the fans will tell you is you can't make money in any sort of meaningful way running this baseball franchise, but it's because of the way you run it. You don't spend money because you think you can't make it back. What we think is you can't make the money back because you don't spend it, so we don't come. And it's just a vicious cycle. And at some point, it doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong. It just matters that here's Pittsburgh, this great American city, great baseball town, builds a beautiful stadium, but the owner's only going to put $80 million into the payroll. You can't be good doing that. So at some point, it doesn't matter who's right or wrong about the argument. It just means that you're spending $80 million on a baseball team. It's never good, and it's just you'll end up losing Paul Skenes. So if I'm the owner, what I think I would do in this moment, because this is a unique moment that most owners never find themselves in, which is you have drafted and developed Patrick Mahomes. You have drafted and developed LeBron James. Most franchises never get the opportunity to like live in this moment. You have control over a generational talent. What do you do with it? I think if I'm Bob Nutting at this point, here's what I do. I hold a very public press conference after this season. Very public. I want to say all this on camera, and I'm speaking to my fans as much as I'm speaking to anybody else, but I'm speaking to everybody. And I'm going to say I've owned this franchise and been in control of this franchise for nearly 2 decades now. Obviously, we haven't had the success that I would have liked, that I know you guys want. And I take responsibility for a lot of that, if not all of it, right? Ultimately, I'm the guy who runs this thing, and it hasn't been run well. Now, what I would try to tell you guys, and what I've tried to explain to anybody who would listen for the past 2 decades, is that we're not the Dodgers, and we're not the Yankees, and we're not the Mets, and we're not the Cubs. And I would love to spend similarly to them, but I've just never been able to do it because I see the books, and I just know if I spend $250 million on a baseball franchise's salary, annual salary, at least this is what I believe, I am going to lose tens of millions of dollars, if not more, every single year. And yes, I am wealthy, but most business owners are not in the business of running businesses at a deficit. All right? So that would be my argument. I know some of you disagree with me. And we've been having this argument for nearly 2 decades in the city. I turn on talk radio. I hear what they say about me. He won't spin. He's a bad owner. Well, I would say I could counter that with, look at my attendance numbers. Like, look at my local television deal. I'm not a bad owner. I'm a sensible owner trying to make the numbers work, trying not to lose tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars every year. So we've been having that argument. And at this point, I don't know that you're going to change my mind or I'm going to change yours. But I'm tired of this argument. And so here's what we're going to do. I am committing right now. I'm telling you, perhaps this stuff should be kept behind closed doors, but I don't want it to be. I'm telling you the truth. We're going to try to make Paul Skenes the highest paid pitcher in Major League Baseball history. We're going to try to make him that. And I am going to be committed starting next year. You can go look at the franchise's salaries, 1 through 30. We're going to be in the top 10. I'm telling you that. We're going to spin. We're going to get in the top 10. Right now, that's about $220 million. I'm telling you, if I had a $220 million payroll on this season, I would lose hundreds of millions of dollars. All right? I'm telling you that. You're telling me if I invested in the product, you guys would show up and support it, and this would all be better. So let's see. Let's see. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. If Paul Skenes doesn't want to be here, I will keep trying to convince him that he should be. But just know if he ever leaves us or refuses to sign a contract, he will be turning down the wealthiest, most lucrative contract in the history of Major League Baseball for a full-time starting pitcher. That's what we're offering him. And I'm also promising him we will spend around him. Am I going to go up to 350 like the Dodgers? Maybe not. But I'll get to 220 like the Cubs. And then we'll have an answer to this question. We won't have to keep going in circles anymore. If I lose millions and millions and millions of dollars after spending this much on payroll, then it is proof that I can't spend this much on payroll because I can't make it back. But if I spend it and then we make it back, well, then maybe, just maybe, we'll find out that if I invest, you guys will invest too. This community will invest. And it's not just the fans. It's the local businesses. We need everybody. But I'm going to do my part. I'm going to put my money in front of this thing, and let's see what happens. And see if your fan base, if that resonates with them. I just think doing what they're doing, this cycle of nonsense, is just forever just deflating for the franchise, for the city. And keep in mind, this is the same franchise, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who once had Barry Bonds. Mm-hmm. And they watched him walk out the door because they couldn't afford to keep him. Imagine being a Pittsburgh sports fan, and it might be true one day what I'm about to tell you. You had in your franchise, drafted him, the greatest hitter of all time and the greatest pitcher of all time. And you kept neither of them right in their primes because you said you couldn't afford them. Now, let's try something different. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what they'll do, but that's what I would do.